A day after Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli hinted at another spell of lockdown, the Ministry of Health has recommended the government to close down schools across the country. It means that the academic institutions will be bracing for online classes, which at the moment seems the only alternative considering a dramatic surge in the COVID-19 cases across the country. Good morning, I'm Sarah Sapsanama and these are the headlines of the hour. Premier Oli reappoints 4 ministers who were removed from the position on Thursday. Maoist Centre registers a letter stating action against Home Minister Rambahadur Thapa. The main opposition, Nepali Congress, formally approaches Maoist Centre and Janata Samajwadi Party to form a new government. The Health Ministry recommends the government to shut down all academic institutions amid a surge in coronavirus cases in the country. And Royal Challengers Bangalore begin their Indian Premier League campaign with a victory, defeat Mumbai Indians by 2 wickets. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has reappointed 4 ministers who were removed from the position of lawmakers on Thursday. The new appointments amid the political gambits, however, can only last for 6 months due to constitutional constraints. The scenario has now given speculations whether the reappointed ministers for a limited time frame will be able to discharge their duties in the best interest of the country.
The 4 former leaders of the Maoist Centre, Lekhraj Bhatta, Top Bahadur Raimaji, Prabhu Shah and Gauri Shankar Chaudhary are no longer lawmakers. After their dual position of lawmaker and minister was scrapped following the action taken by the Maoist Centre, Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli reappointed them today as President Bidya Devi Bhandari administered the reappointed ministers the oath of office and secrecy. The Prime Minister wrote on the constitutional provision of ministerial appointment of any individual, irrespective of being a lawmaker, for a maximum of 6 months. Meanwhile, political analysts have termed the Prime Minister's latest move as an attack on the very norms of the Constitution, as non-lawmakers have been made ministers. Political analyst Krishna Pokhrel said that the Premier's move cannot be justified as it has come at a time when the government itself is unstable. The government now boasts of 6 ministers who are not lawmakers, along with Minister for Drinking Water Mani Thapa and Sports Minister Dawa Lama. The Province 1 Chief Minister Shaitan Vai has also adopted similar approach as Tangka Angbuhang, who had quit Maoist Centre, has been made Minister for Planning for 6 months. The scenario has only harbored political bickering in the country.
CPN Maoist Centre has registered a letter stating action taken against Home Minister and National Assembly member Rambahadur Thapa at the Federal Parliament. Maoist leader Dinanath Sharma informed that the party has taken action against Thapa, who had quit the party to join hands with CPN UML. The registered letter mentions that Home Minister Thapa's post of National Assembly member has been scrapped. Thapa had assumed the position of National Assembly member and later Home Minister under Maoist quota. Home Minister Thapa had sided with Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli amid the rising feud between the chairman duo Oli and Pushpakamal Dahal. The main opposition, Nepali Congress, has formally proposed the formation of the new government under its leadership in the meeting of the 3 parties involving the Maoist Centre and Janata Samajwadi Party. In the 3-party meeting held at Congress Chief Sherbahadur Dewa's Budanil Kantha residence, the main opposition appealed for cooperation from CPN Maoist and Janata Samajwadi Party. The Maoists have said that they are positive to the demand. Janata Samajwadi Party, meanwhile, has said it would clear its stand following a meeting in the party. Janata Samajwadi Chairman Mahanta Thakur said that the party will discuss the agenda since this was the first time that the main opposition had formally cleared its stance. Meanwhile, Maoist leaders have hinted Janata Samajwadi leaders are not so keen on the 3-party coalition government. Janata Samajwadi leaders have been hesitant regarding their support to the Oli government or join hands with Nepali Congress and the Maoist Centre. Their chairman Mahanta Thakur and leader Rajendra Mahato are close to Prime Minister Oli, while the other chairman Upendra Thai and Baburam Bhattarai are noted critics of the Prime Minister. The Health Ministry has recommended the government to shut down all academic institutions amid a surge in coronavirus cases in the country. The ministry has directed the COVID Crisis Management Center to shut down education institutions, party palaces, shopping malls, religious shrines, among other places that are likely to remain crowded. The ministry has cited the detection of British variant of COVID-19, presumably more infectious, and recommended the academic institutions to operate online classes for at least 3 weeks. The ministry has also directed the CCMC to monitor the passenger buses and make them strictly follow necessary health guidelines. Meanwhile, the CCMC is yet to take an official decision on the recommendation made by the ministry. Wildfires are on the rise amid the prolonged dry season. In this context, in our Public Voice segment, we've asked in Thankuta what should be done to control forest blazes. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
चेतना विकास सँगसँगै स्रोत र साधनको व्यवस्थापन गर्नुपर्ने आवश्यकता देखिन्छ। जहाँ पूर्वाधार विकास भएको छ त्यो एरियामा दमकलको व्यवस्थापनको कुरा भयो, अनि ती साधनहरूलाई परिचालन गर्न सक्ने मेन पावरको आवश्यकता पनि त्यतिकै टड्काको रूपमा देखिएको छ।
समाज जुटेर कोही पानी ल्याएर हुन्छ कि के गरेर हुन्छ मार्न सकिन्छ होला जस्तो लाग्छ।
जहाँ जहाँ अलिकति बढी आगलागी हुने सम्भावना हुन्छ त्यो ठाउँमा अग्नि रेखा नियन्त्रण गर्नुपर्छ।
Time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. The question is, what's your take on the industry minister's remarks that market monitoring would be handed to businessmen? Your options are A, advocating accountable businesses, B, trying to evade responsibility, and C, influence of businessmen. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Let's move on to our special segment, Media Watch.
Four cabinet ministers of the incumbent government were relieved of their parliamentary posts on Thursday. Speaker Agni Sapkota made the announcement at Thursday's meeting of the House of Representatives. Leaders Top Bahadur Rayamaji, Lekhraj Bhatta, Prabhu Shah and Gauri Shankar Chaudhary, who were elected from the CPN Maoist Center, lost their ministerial positions as they had quit their party. CPN Maoist Center Chairman Pushpakamal Dahal had informed the Parliament Secretariat on Tuesday that the four leaders had quit the party. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, while addressing the 70th General Assembly of the Nepal Chamber of Commerce in the capital on Thursday, hinted that the nation could well brace up for another spell of lockdown if the recent rise in COVID-19 cases doesn't subside. Premier Oli urged the public to strictly follow necessary health measures before the situation spirals out of control. Stating that neighboring India is in a serious health crisis with the increasing number of daily rise in COVID-19 cases, Prime Minister Oli warned that the government would be compelled to adopt strict measures if a similar situation develops in Nepal. Health experts have also warned of serious consequences given that newer variants of the dreaded virus have been detected in the country. The new variants of coronavirus were detected in individuals who recently entered Sudur Paschim province from the border transits with India. The swab samples of 3 individuals that were brought to Kathmandu for testing came out positive for the new variants of coronavirus. The samples have been sent to Hong Kong for the identification of the variant types. One of the individuals who tested positive for the virus entered Nepal from the Gatachoki border point on 26th of March, while the remaining 2 entered from the Gaurifanta border point on 28th of March. The 3 individuals are staying at local level quarantine centers and their health conditions are said to be normal. Meanwhile, the COVID-19 vaccines received from China in grant assistance started to be administered at 14 different hospitals in the Kathmandu Valley from Wednesday. Nepali students studying under scholarships in China, entrepreneurs involved in businesses in China, among others, have been given priority for the jabs. China had provided Nepal 800,000 COVID-19 vaccines manufactured in China as grant assistance. This is Abhyuday Shrestha for Media Watch and Kantipur News Desk.
That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Have a great weekend ahead.